good afternoon, I should say. Good morning for those of you who happen to be on the West Coast. My name is Mark Koenig, and I am here at Sage. We are the makers of the Sage Peachtree Quantum product, and today we're going to be giving you a short presentation on our Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition, which is specifically designed for manufacturers and has quite an extended set of functionality specifically designed for manufacturing concerns. I'm very pleased today to have with us Mr. Charlie Kimball, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for MISYS. MISYS is spelled M-I-S-Y-S, and stands for Manufacturing Information Systems, as you see on the first slide here. MISYS has been in business for over 20 years. They are located up in Woodstock, Vermont, and we have had a great relationship with them over time, over many years, and we, a few years ago, started selling their product in bundled along with Sage Peachtree Quantum, specifically for manufacturers that need that additional functionality. And the reason we did that is that Sage Peachtree Quantum, while it does have some simple, some pretty basic assembly and kitting capabilities, there are some advanced manufacturing functions that it does not incorporate, and MISYS does provide that functionality, things like MRP and multiple tracking of items in multiple warehouses, multiple suppliers, production scheduling, and things that Charlie's going to get into in more detail today. But the reason that we decided to offer this package, this hybrid package, so to speak, is that there's a synergy between Sage Peachtree Quantum and MISYS in that the combination of our two products really is greater than the sum of the parts, because what you get with this Quantum Manufacturing Edition is actually very close to a full-fledged ERP system for a manufacturer at a fraction of the price. So it's an excellent value, and we've had a lot of success with it. We've sold this package to a variety of manufacturers in all different industries, and I'm very pleased, as I say, to present this information in a little more depth to you today with Charlie's help. And Charlie, with that, I'm going to just turn it over to you.
Well, Mark, thank you very much. So I hope that the presentation lives up to the billing. So the idea is to spend, 45 minutes or so, and we may go faster than that, but to provide you with an overview of how MISYS manufacturing really works with Peachtree Quantum to provide that Quantum Manufacturing Edition. So we can take questions along the way. You'll see on the right-hand side of your screen there is, we'll call it a dialog box, and you can enter questions in there. So Mark and I will look at the questions you've entered and try to answer them as we go, but we'll definitely answer them towards the end if we haven't done so in between. And for those of you sitting down, the bathrooms are down the hallway on the right, so just make sure you know where they are. So anyway, so let's get going and take a look at what we're going to talk about today. And I hope that the screen did change. Mark, can you just confirm that you're not looking at something that says a software solution for manufacturers?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Just wanted to make sure we were working this correctly. Okay, so the topic, what do we want to talk about today? There's basically 3 different bullet points. What kind of problems do manufacturers face? Then we're going to talk about how the solution of Quantum Manufacturing Edition actually works, and then to look at how can you find out more. So that's what we really hope to accomplish in the span of 45 minutes. So one of the most frequently, when we're talking with companies or manufacturers, they come to us when their spreadsheets actually stop working for them. And there are many people who are wizards with spreadsheets. but there are many, many more who are not. And spreadsheets are good to a point, but then they start to fail. These are the reasons that we often see that customers come to us and say, the spreadsheets aren't working for me anymore, I need a new system. One of our internal sales reps used to work for a commercial bakery in Toronto, and he is a wizard at spreadsheets, but one day he had left a formula out of one of his 20,000 cells. A long story short, at the end of the production day, they had to throw out $10,000 worth of muffins because they didn't have the right packaging inside of the company. So his formula should have revealed that they needed to order new clamshells to put the muffins in. He thought it was right, but he realized when the production manager came to him and said, where are the clamshells? That they didn't have the right packaging, so they threw it out. So spreadsheets are great. They don't do what you need them to do all the time.
Charlie, did I hear you correctly, 20,000 cells?
20,000 cells on a spreadsheet. Yes, he's quite proud of it, in multiple tabs. So, and he tried to use some time-phased elements too. Okay, this is what I need to make for delivery on Saturday. So in order to have that, I have to order these on Tuesday in order to get them in place. So again, when I first started working with Mysis, this particular sales rep showed me the things he was doing with spreadsheets, and it's incredible. But even he got to the point where he said, this just cost our company $10,000, and that's of that one order. That's not the relationship with the end customer.
Sure.
Yeah. 20,000 cells. That's a big spreadsheet.
Okay, yeah, so I guess he is a wizard.
Yeah. So then manufacturers have a unique set of issues. Retailers and distributors don't ask the same kinds of questions. They don't talk about work in process. While they might talk about how much inventory, they don't talk about raw materials as inventory. And manufacturers need to really know what it costs to make something and incorporating all of the labor, the material, the overhead in the process. And then to be able to do all those things in the kind of a concert and get it done on time. So some of the things also, the pain points that manufacturers face, especially when dealing with different regulatory bodies, is being able to have traceability back and forth as to what raw materials they use in the production of a particular product, whether it's pharmaceuticals, weapons, whatever it is. So these are some of the questions that you may be asking yourself as a manufacturer. And the last one on this list is, do I have to enter that information again? If you're using spreadsheets and you don't have that integration with your accounting package, chances are you're entering that data once, twice, 3 times so that you can get some kind of accurate financial accounting. So it's a lot of opportunity to make mistakes in transferring that data from one system to another. So how do you know as a manufacturer that you've got a problem that can be addressed by a comprehensive software solution for manufacturers? Well, here are some things. Do you practice production triage? And by that I mean, do you constantly readjust your production schedule day to day or even within a day depending on which customer is yelling the loudest? We find that that's fairly common, and that you're protecting your largest customer and you're not able then to develop the smaller customers because their jobs are always pushed way to the end. Or has a customer ever fired you? And that's because, for a number of reasons, but were you late on a delivery or consistently late? Or was your pricing not in line? Was your quality not up to par? So all of these things can be addressed with a system. Are you losing money? Or better yet, do you not know where you're losing money? The old adage about, well, I must be making money because I have cash in the bank, can be true for only so long, because it may be hidden somewhere in your inventories or receivables or payables. So having a system that helps you identify what the actual costs of making products are and getting you a good sense of what your margins are is very important. Yesterday, I talked to a prospect of ours who ended their fiscal year end September 30th, and they were very happy to have finally closed their books yesterday. So that's 5 months. It took them to close their books for the fiscal year end of 9/30. I've heard similar horror stories about, here's our manufacturing numbers, here's our accounting numbers, and it takes them that long. Well, in that time span, you got 5 months, almost half a year, that you could be making decisions based on the wrong information. Well, that doesn't really help. So if it's taking you a lot of time, then you got some issues. The last one is no fun. If you're tied to your business so that you can't miss a day, if you're running a spreadsheet in order to manage your inventory or manage your production line, or if you're managing your production by simply walking around, very, very common among small to medium-sized manufacturers, then you really can't afford to be out of the office or off the factory floor. Well, there's probably some things you'd rather be doing than trying to just practice that triage on the floor all the time. If you have a system, it's going to enable you to use your time more effectively and efficiently. Okay. So, Mark, I think at this point, isn't there a poll that we have that we want to launch?
Yes, as a matter of fact, and do you have the launch button there?
I do, and I'm ready, set, go. So I just launched this poll. So we really want to know from our attendees, what of these issues do you face? So you'll see that the poll is on the right-hand side of your screen. So just take a moment and click which one you think. You can click many, too. You don't have to click just one. But which of these problems do you have that you're trying to address?
Yes, if I had some Jeopardy music, I'd be playing it right now. Very good.
Alex Trebek, your job is safe, so he doesn't have to worry quite yet.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll take just another minute, and then we'll close out the poll. Okay. All right, great. I think everybody's had an opportunity to answer, so I'm going to close out the poll, and then we'll display those results so that people can see it. Is that now showing on the screen, I hope?
Right. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so pretty evenly distributed in the sense of practicing production triage or taking a long time to close out are the highest pain points, but then losing business, losing money, and having no fun. All right, well, we need to increase our fun quotient, increase the profitability, evening out that production flow so you're not pulling your hair out or listening to the customer screaming on the other end of the phone, and then being able to meet those delivery dates. So hopefully what we can cover today is at least an introduction as to how to do that. Okay, I'm going to hide that poll now since we know the results, and that should have gone away. Okay. So the next part is we're going to talk about Sage Peachtree Quantum Accounting, and then after that we'll get into the specifics of how MISIS fits in with that. So Mark, I think you are the product expert here on Sage Peachtree Quantum Accounting, correct?
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Because how many demos are you doing a day on Sage Peachtree Quantum Accounting?
Oh, geez, 7 to 8 a day. So it's
Right.
I talk to a lot of customers on a daily basis, and yes,
Okay.
we've got with Sage Peachtree Quantum, as you say, we've got significant performance built into the product, depth of functionality. As I mentioned earlier, there is some basic manufacturing functionality built into Sage Peachtree Quantum. But it is basic. It incorporates some kitting functionality, some assembly, basic work ticket functionality. And it is designed to grow with your business. I should point that out as well. You can buy a 5-user version of Sage Peachtree Quantum, but you can also, for additional cost, increase that in blocks of 5 users So you can go from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, all the way up to a maximum of 40 users if you ever need that many. You do get quite a value for your money with Sage Peachtree Quantum accounting in terms of an integrated off-the-shelf system. However, the reason that we're talking about Quantum Manufacturing Edition today, which incorporates the MISIS piece, which Charlie is talking about, is that there are, for manufacturers, as I'm sure many of you folks on the call are quite familiar, some very specific needs, extended needs that you have for your business in terms of tracking production and MRP, things like tracking finished goods separately from work in process and raw materials, tracking statistics on multiple suppliers and so forth. And those are the type of extended functionality that we've partnered with MISIS to provide. So, Charlie, if you could flip to the next slide. I think we've got a picture of, yeah, there we go, thank you, of Peachtree Quantum Accounting. And this is what the actual application looks like when you first bring it up. If you're familiar at all with any of the other versions of Sage Peachtree, you'll notice that this looks very familiar. And we've actually designed Sage Peachtree Quantum with an eye toward ease of use and consistency. So that you'll notice along the left-hand side of the screen here, there's this panel that we refer to as the navigation panel, which contains various tabs representing different functional areas of the software. And these are typically the areas that in a larger ERP system you would buy as separate modules. So things like, accounts receivable, inventory, payroll, and so forth. Those different functional areas are all built into the one integrated system with Sage Peachtree Quantum. It is a very, as I say, consistent interface from one section of the program to another. And if you'd like to see Sage Peachtree Quantum in detail, I would be more than happy to spend a full hour with any of you and go over any questions you might have, get into the interface in detail, and show you exactly how the system will work as a standalone product, as well as the types of things that MISIS will be able to provide on an extended functionality basis. So that's always available to you. And the system, you'll notice, is, like MISIS, designed to be familiar and consistent from one section to another, so you're not constantly presented with a learning curve if you're working in a different section of the program. So with that, I think I'm going to just turn it back over to Charlie, as we're focusing today mainly on the MISIS part of the package, but I wanted to at least give you a little idea, flavor for what Sage Peachtree Quantum looks like.
Great, great. Thanks, Mark. It's interesting that looking at the screen on the left-hand side, it looks very familiar, like an Outlook program you might have for your mail and that kind of stuff. So it's
exactly.
It's not that new and foreign. It's not that surprising if you've been using a computer for the last 20 years anyway. So how does MISIS integrate with Quantum? That might be what you're thinking about. Is that these are the specific things that MISIS Manufacturing brings to Sage Peachtree Quantum. Really looking at separating your work in process from your finished goods so that you can have visibility of your entire work in process for the moment you kick that production order off until it's actually then all the way through the manufacturing process as a finished good, then coming back into Peachtree. So we often hear that as a reason why somebody wants more than what they currently have in their accounting system. The second is looking at multi-level bills of material, looking at visibility at all different levels, being able to go 16 levels deep, which is what ours does. So 16 level deep is about as complex a product as you ever want to get to. So we'll get to what a level is in a minute. And then tracking revisions to your bills of materials. So if you build a fairly standard product, but every now and then you need to change it. Yesterday I was talking to somebody who manufactures industrial equipment. There's 4 different versions of the product they make, but on each version they start out with a standard bill of materials, and then they modify each job that they have for that bill of materials because the customer wants something a little different. We also have a customer that makes fire trucks, for instance, and no 2 fire trucks are the same. Each town is different as to what they want to see. So the basic bill of material is the same, but the finished bill of material is totally different. Okay. And then looking at multiple warehouse locations, either on different physical locations, meaning in different buildings, or within the same warehouse. So many companies have inventory throughout different locations. It may be the same item number. It has to be the same item number. But you want to know where it is in all those different locations, and MISIS gives you the ability to do that inside of Sage Peachtree Quantum. And then looking at serialized components. We talked about this a little earlier, but if you need to track the actual inventory part you use to make something from the time it's a raw material or from the time it's a sub-assembly all the way through to the point where it's a finished good, you need to have that ability to do that, and MISIS gives you that ability. Again, sometimes I will say MISIS. What I really mean is Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition, but our underlying software product is MISIS Manufacturing, so I apologize if it sounds confusing. And then looking at, we create production orders right from Peachtree sales orders. So that's how we start the production process. As soon as you have a sales order inside of Sage Peachtree, then that starts the manufacturing order, that production order inside of MISIS. So different costing methods. Instead of just average, we add FIFO, LIFO, standard to average. And so if you have a need for a different approach for your product accounting, then we bring that to the table. Also, multiple suppliers. If you want to track the performance of different suppliers for a single item, who is the cheapest, who is the fastest, who has the best quality. So you can rate your suppliers on a number of criteria, and then make your orders according to the criteria as you go along. And then the other part is just really being able to do planning. Planning when you're going to buy material, planning when you're going to build things to satisfy your customer orders. So that planning function is one of the keystones of MISIS Manufacturing and Quantum Manufacturing Edition. All right. Is it a keystone or a cornerstone? Never sure. Okay, let's go on. So the what we're looking at is, here are the types of manufacturers that MISIS and Sage together provided a solution for. And these are the types of things that they make. We don't need to read through all of these, but hopefully you've got the ability to just kind of check it out. Let's go back here for a second. So pretty much anything. We were recently talking to somebody who actually makes lobster parts. All right, well, they have to buy a lobster, then disassemble the lobster, and then the lobster takes on different forms, whether it's claw meat or different things. So that's actually possible to do inside of MISIS. A little esoteric, but nevertheless we do it. So that gives you an idea, a variety of things, whether it's process manufacturers or discrete manufacturers. So how do we work? I'm going to show you 2 slides that will provide you a really good understanding here. One is that in MISIS, we maintain a subledger for every transaction that occurs, whether it's allocating raw material inventory to a specific production order, and that is getting in a work in process, allocating the bundled material according to the sub-assembly, and what that value has, where things are going along in terms of when you're purchasing materials and then when you're actually transferring back into finished goods. That's all recorded in the subledger of MISIS and then transferred over into Peachtree as frequently or as seldom as you want. Some customers do it during each day, or at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and some at the end of a month. The second thing is your sales inventory is replenished from your manufacturing inventory. There's many ways to use MISIS according to how your business operates. There's not just one way to do it. So you can do something where you have no finished inventory inside of Peachtree, and you have raw materials inside of MISIS, and you can basically generate a production order from Peachtree to get that finished good made using an auto build function and then transferred into Peachtree. So there's many, many different ways to use it. It really depends on how you need to use it inside of your own business. Looking at the production and purchasing, again, what MISIS brings to it is that ability to look not only at what you need today, but what you need down the road, a time-phased MRP based on the delivery schedule you have on your sales orders. It's a very, very powerful tool, gives you some capacity planning to incorporate into what you do. And also it takes into account the holidays that you have or your work schedules, your overtime, and really builds all that into a very complex formula that tells you when you need to start doing something. And you can also use forecasts either derived from your sales data inside of Peachtree or from your production history inside of MISIS, or a combination of the two. And so you can really take into account your seasonality as to when you need things to be manufactured, even if you don't have the sales order in hand. So you can build to a forecast and not build necessarily to a sales order. Okay. So this is a little chart we developed to help really give you a graphic demonstration, and follow along with me here. Here's the little highlighter. Okay, so over here on the far right, we've got customers. Now they are going to place an order with your company, and the sales order comes into Peachtree, Peachtree Quantum. Now Peachtree is going to look to see if it's got finished goods in inventory, and if it doesn't, it's going to say, whoa, we got to go make something. So it kicks off this production order in MISIS. And MISIS says, oh, hey, we got to start doing something now. I was going to say, okay, we got to build these different items. And first, let's see if we have the material. Oh, you know what? We need to buy some stuff. Based on what that sales order is, we need to buy some materials to satisfy the sales order. So we're going to generate purchase orders to our suppliers, as these guys over here. So the supplier is going to ship the goods and then come back into MISIS as raw materials. Or it could be, at that point, it could be a subassembly. You might be buying something as a subassembly from one of your suppliers. It also could be an outside processing, say if you need to have something powder-coated or anodized or whatever other process you ship outside. So you can both issue purchase orders from MISIS and also receive inventory into MISIS against those purchase orders. So when the production orders are released, it goes into work in process. You're actually manufacturing the product on the production floor. And when those products are finished, then the inventory, when you do sync the data, integrate the data, it's actually then moved over into finished goods in Peachtree Quantum. Okay. And then obviously you ship from Peachtree, you ship the products from Peachtree out to your customer. Okay, and then you're either going to have an accounts receivable or you're going to have already the cash in hand.
And Charlie, excuse me for interrupting here, but I just wanted to point out as well that these two applications, though they are discrete applications, work very well and quite seamlessly with one another. So a lot of times I'll get questions from customers that are considering Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition. Well, do I have to enter the information twice, once in MISIS and once in Peachtree? And the answer is no. The two applications talk together, talk to each other, and so there's no need to do that.
Great. Great, thank you. I think there are 17 integration points is where the data is actually transferred over from Mysis into Peachtree and vice versa. Just to complete the chart here is that the supplier is going to invoice for the materials. The invoice is going to be received in Mysis and then shipped over into Peachtree. And Peachtree is actually going to issue the check to pay the supplier. At the same time, excuse me, you've got in here the customer is going to be paying Sage or pay you as the manufacturer, and you're going to receive that money in the Peachtree GL. Okay, and so your cost of goods sold is going to be coming from here and then transferred over here. So your GL will have the ability to have all of your financial information right there without doing the double entry. Okay. Did we cover it? Okay. I think so. So what does it look like? Well, we're talking about a modular configuration. So Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition consists of the basic manufacturing module of Mysis plus 2 user licenses. And these are concurrent user licenses. So you can have 4 people using the system, but only 2 could be logged on at the same time. That's what that means. Basic manufacturing is the guts of Mysis manufacturing. That's where you have all of your information stored in terms of suppliers, bills of material, and items, item masters. So it's everything that you could possibly want is actually stored there. The additional modules are going to give you, whether it's the ability to generate purchase orders, schedule production, all the way through to some of the other functions and features. We'll talk about those in a second, but these are add-on capabilities to basic manufacturing. Advanced purchasing is usually purchased about 90% of the time with our basic manufacturing, and that is because people want to save time in issuing purchase orders right from Mysis. So you buy the raw materials right from Mysis. Advanced production is going to give you the ability to really look at any kind of modifications to a standard bill of materials and also include routings as to how much time it takes at different work centers along your production line. And then MRP, Materials Requirement Planning, really gives you that ability to schedule your production according to your delivery schedule that you have with customers, and then order materials to satisfy those production orders. So really, MRP tells you what to buy and when to buy it, and what to build and when to build it. Serial lot tracking we covered, and serial lot tracking gives you the ability to, again, track either by serial number or by lot number those raw materials used in a finished good, or the other way, you look at a finished good, tell me all the raw materials that were used. Either way. Shop floor control gives you better control over the exact labor, overhead, and materials used during the production process. So you can see as to exactly how much time it takes or labor it takes at each work center along the way. Bin tracking is something that gives you the ability to really track the materials that are usually the same items that are held in one bin. It could be a length of coil and you only use maybe 100 feet of the coil. You need to know how many feet are left over on that particular coil. So bins are used very frequently by process manufacturers in particular that we work with. And labor tracker, again, if you're really looking at trying to identify the exact amount of labor that is used in production of an item, we can do that through this. It's a tool that doesn't necessarily tie into your payroll, so don't think about that. But if you want to tie the amount of labor used in the actual production of an item that you're producing for a customer, you can do that with our labor tracker module. The last is mobile Mysis. Mobile Mysis is pretty cool. You can set up parameters to notify you by email as to when something occurs in the company. So you're running behind on different production orders or inventory is low on a particular item. We've even gone so far as if there's a key inventory item for you in your entire process, maybe it's copper, and you're running low on the copper, you can generate an email or set this up to generate an email every time you're low and send that email to your supplier. So your supplier gets that notification and says, oh my God, ABC Corporation is low on copper, I better call them. So it's really a powerful tool, and a lot of our customers are using this with great success. And then user licenses, you can always add as many as you want. And again, usually people, they start with 2. They might add 1 or 2 more. And on average, our customers have about 4 user licenses. You get 5 with Quantum, and that's 5 for Quantum. That doesn't give you 5 user licenses inside of MISIS manufacturing. So you have to add as many as you really need. And it's usually a smaller number than what you need in Quantum. Okay, so what does it look like? This is a sample, again, in the same kind of format, that Outlook format, if you will. I'm sorry, my email is still coming up. Sorry about that. And this is a Gantt chart that is showing the production schedule for different orders and different items. So you can see here these are production schedules of when the I-40 item is going to be built or when the I-45 is. So if we were in a live demo mode, I could show you how we can just move those production orders according to when you think they need. Okay. And then let's go into here. This is the basic manufacturing bills of material. So a bill of material with different levels is really like those wooden Russian dolls that fit with a Matryoshka doll, something like that. So within each subassembly is one of those Matryoshka dolls. And so you can go 6 or 7 or up to 16 different layers deep. So imagine 16 little dolls inside of a bigger doll and a bigger doll. And that's how MISIS is set up, so that you can go that deep. If you'll see here, this I-50 consists of the I-40, the I-51. So inside of this R-50 here, this item has, well, these items as part of it. These belong to the I-51. The I-40 is these. So here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep.
I was hoping you were going to bring up that analogy, Charlie. I love that. It's a great visual analogy. I also was wondering if you actually, I've heard Dave there at MISIS mention the, I forget which, 747, so it doesn't even have 16 levels in the bill of materials.
Right. It was told to us by a fairly knowledgeable source that it has only 8 levels deep. That a Boeing 747 has an 8-level bill of materials, which is, for us, that's really surprising. But I mean, if you think about the different possible configurations, how deep you can get with 16 levels, I don't think there's anything that requires further than that. It's pretty incredible.
Right.
Okay. So is Sage Peachtree Quantum the right solution? Maybe. So you have to look to see if you do have some real pain. I mean, no new computer system comes without effort and without cost. So you really have to do the cost-benefit analysis. Again, if you talk about those issues that we were identified earlier, are you losing money? Are you losing customers? Did a customer fire you? Are you practicing triage? Are you double entering? Is it taking a long time to close your books? If those are really significant for you, then yeah, okay, let's try to solve them. The second is looking at comparing this best of breed solution, looking at the best of the accounting solutions that you are familiar with, and the best of the manufacturing solutions that work together with it. Looking at that solution, that's what we bring you with Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing, versus an all-in-one system essentially a SysPro or large systems that are typically more complex, more expensive to maintain, and a lot more expensive to implement. I don't want to tell you all the competitors out there, but I mean there are a lot of mid-tier ERP systems that are very expensive to implement. So what we think you have here is a best of breed, very affordable, and very powerful solution. The last part of that is, are you committed? Again, realizing that no implementation comes without effort. That you have to say, yes, I have enough pain, and I really want to go through this. And there's a couple different ways to go through the implementation. We'll go through that in a minute. So how do you get up and running? Well, there's a number of things that we provide to you. So if you buy Quantum Manufacturing Edition, you get automatically 12 months of priority technical support. So that's available by telephone to our tech department, who's very good. You have the option of using a Mises Sure Start coach. And essentially, that person is assigned to you to help you import all of your data from your existing system, whatever it is, spreadsheets or another manufacturing system, getting that data exported into a spreadsheet, getting it imported back into Mises so that you have your own data in the right format to work with. We have online courses, so they're offered once every 2 weeks, and it's a full week. It's 1 to 5 p.m., and you can take those courses as many times as you want. Those are also recorded. The how-to videos, I'm going to skip one, the how-to videos are actually on our site that enables you to look at these 2 to 3 minute sections of videos as to, oh, well, how do I set up a bill of materials? Or how do I import my items? How do I set up multiple suppliers for one customer? That type of stuff. We have weekly online user group meetings. We do have a 900-page user guide that has a lot of examples. I'm in there all the time when somebody asks me a question I don't have an answer to. And then also our website has extensive information. The other part, we do have a 90-day guarantee. Quantum Manufacturing has a 90-day guarantee. So when you buy it, if something doesn't go right in that 90 days, you can return it. Of course, we hate for you to return it. We're going to work hard to make sure that it's first the right system, and second, you've got enough help actually trying to implement it. So it really does take some of the risk out of it, though. And I think that the other thing that we didn't mention on here is if you really do need boots on the ground and someone to help you with the implementation, then there are certified consultants with Peachtree and also some specific manufacturing consultants that can come out and really help you understand or help you with the implementation. Not understand necessarily, but help really either refine the business process you use in order to do manufacture, or how to really mold how Mises works to what you currently do. Either way. Okay. So I think, Mark, that was it that we had for the content, and then we can take questions. We did go a little over. I apologize for that.
Not a problem at all. Yeah, I'd like to absolutely entertain any questions that any of the attendees have. Folks, if you'd like to type your question into the question box that you see on the GoToWebinar panel there. Charlie and I will do our best to answer as many questions as we can in the remaining time we have here. I do want to mention that you will receive a follow-up email with a link to a recording of today's session. And if you would like more information or would like to request a personalized one-on-one demo, please call us here at Sage at this number, which you see displayed on the screen. It's 866-686-1875, extension 330046. And one of our account managers will be more than happy to discuss our product with you. Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition is something that we know is even though it does provide an extraordinary value for the money, it's an investment, and we know that you're going to have very specific questions as to how this product is going to work in your specific business situation. So I, all the time, on a daily basis, have one-on-one online demonstrations set up with folks where we can spend a full hour discussing your specific needs and going over whatever questions you have. And we do the same with Mises specifically. So if you have questions regarding anything in the Mises part of the product, we set up those online demonstrations, and those can go. They often go over an hour. So we're very happy to do that, and please call us if you're interested in either of those.
So, Mark, I was wondering, one of the questions that some people don't ask is, so what is this going to cost? And that's really hard to answer without knowing exactly the parameters of it. But in terms of, but average, what's the best way for them to get a price?
Well, I mean, really the best thing to do is to talk to one of our account managers, because it is going to vary over, depending on what modules of MySys you need and how many users of Peachtree Quantum you need. And as Charlie mentioned, just because you may need 5 or 10 users of Quantum, that doesn't necessarily translate into needing the same number of users for MySys. In fact, it's usually quite a bit fewer, because MySys are concurrent users versus named users in Peachtree. So the pricing is something we can get into detail with you, our account managers, and after we determine what your specific needs are and what modules are involved, we can give you an exact price quote. But yeah, without knowing exactly what your situation, your business process is, it's kind of hard to do that.
Okay. Now, I was thinking that some people that might make, they might be a bakery, or they might be a chemical manufacturer, or process manufacturers, and they have different set of requirements than someone who is making electronic components. So would MySys work for both of those types of processes? One's process or manufacturer's process versus discrete. And the answer is, as long as you use a bill of materials, as long as that, because a bill of materials to us, that could be a recipe that you have for a product that you're making, a baked good, or it could be a formula that you use for chemical manufacturing. As long as you use a bill of material, MySys can be the right solution for you. MySys Manufacturing, Quantum Manufacturing Edition. So it really depends. One question I have for you, Mark, is that do you have any customers that are currently hosting a solution of Peachtree? Is that something that you guys do now?
We actually don't. Sage doesn't do the hosting. We don't do the hosting ourselves, but we do have many customers who do pay a hosting service to host the system and log into it that way. And I know, at least I understand that you folks have that system set up as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we've our software is written in .NET, so it could be deployed across an internet or within a local area network in a business, or on the same PC. So if somebody wants to locate it on a server that's remotely located, no problem. I mean, that's great. We'd love to do it. And I think the same thing. We could host our software. I'm sorry, the customer would be able to work with one of those hosting providers and host both the Quantum Manufacturing Edition with the Peachtree Quantum. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay. That works well. Okay. So are there any other questions you think that are out there? I'm looking at the question box, and I'm not finding many. I'm not finding any. We must have done such an excellent job in presenting that there's nothing left to doubt.
Evidently, I'm not seeing any questions either. Folks, again, I want to thank you for attending today's webcast. Charlie and I would be very pleased to answer any additional questions that you have. Please give us a call here at Sage at the number listed on the screen. If you have additional questions or would like to see a personalized demo, and we will set that up for you. Charlie, I want to thank you again for attending today and sharing your expertise with us. I really want to emphasize once again that our the synergy between our two products really creates an exceptional value for manufacturers from the standpoint of, Charlie was talking earlier about mid-level ERP systems, and if you go out there and look at the prices on those systems, you're going to find that they're quite a bit higher. I mean, multiples of what Sage Peachtree Quantum Manufacturing Edition is typically going to cost. So we encourage you to look at our product. We're very confident that it offers an excellent value for the money. And if there are no further questions, thank you for attending today, and you have a great day.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Likewise, Charlie.